If you are watching this right now, stop everything, because what you are about to hear was not meant for everyone. It was meant for you. And by the time this message is over, you will understand why your life has felt the way it has, why you have carried so much, why you have felt so different, so out of place, so alone in a crowded room. You are about to find out that none of it was an accident, not a single moment. Close your eyes for just 1 second. Think about where you are right now, not just physically. Think about where you are inside, the weight you are carrying, the questions that keep you up at night, the feeling that something is coming, something big, something you cannot quite name, but you can feel it. That feeling? That is not anxiety. That is activation. And it is happening right now, in this moment, because you were always meant to arrive here. You are not like most people. You already know that. You have always known it, even when you tried to convince yourself otherwise. There is something different about you, something deeper, something that makes ordinary life feel too small, too loud, too hollow. You feel things others do not feel. You see things others walk right past. You carry a sensitivity, an awareness, an ache for something more that most people around you will never understand. And because of that, you have been misunderstood your entire life. People called you too emotional, too sensitive, too much. You were told to toughen up, to be realistic, to stop dreaming so big. And somewhere along the way, you started to wonder if they were right. You started to shrink yourself, silence yourself, make yourself smaller so the world around you would feel more comfortable. But here is what no one told you. The very thing they called your weakness is your greatest weapon, because chosen ones are always misread before they are recognized. Every single one throughout all of human history was first dismissed, first doubted, first left alone in the wilderness of their calling with nothing but a flicker of faith and a knowing they could barely explain. That is where you have been, in the wilderness, and the wilderness feels like punishment. But it is preparation. I need you to hear this next part carefully, because this is where most people stop listening. This is where the noise of the world creeps back in and tries to drown out what your spirit already knows. Stay with me, because what I am about to tell you is the thing you have been waiting your entire life to hear. Every single painful chapter of your story was authored with purpose. Not cruelty, not neglect, not indifference. Purpose. That season where everything fell apart? That was not destruction. That was the demolition of everything that was too small to hold who you are becoming. That relationship that broke you? It was not a mistake. It was a mirror, showing you what you were still accepting that you were never supposed to settle for. That door that slammed shut in your face when you were so desperate for it to open? It was not rejection. It was redirection. But here is what makes your story extraordinary. And I mean your story, not a general story, not a motivational template. Yours. You did not quit. You bent. You buckled. There were nights when you lay in the dark and you could not find a single reason to keep going. There were mornings you forced yourself out of bed carrying more weight than anyone around you could see. And still, you stayed. You kept moving even when you did not know what you were moving toward. You kept praying even when the silence was deafening. You kept hoping, even when hope felt like the most dangerous thing you could do. That is not weakness. That is a chosen one, walking in their anointing before they even know they have it. Now, I need to tell you something about tonight. Because tonight is different. I know you have heard things like this before. You have read the encouraging posts, the uplifting quotes, the messages that felt good for a moment and then faded by morning. This is not that. This is a divine appointment. And the fact that you are still here, still watching, tells me that somewhere deep inside you, your spirit already recognizes what your mind is still trying to catch up to. Something is about to shift. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. But before that shift comes, I need to take you somewhere. I need you to go back. Back to the version of yourself who first started carrying the weight you still carry today. Back to the moment when you first learned that love was not guaranteed, that safety was not certain, that you would have to fight for things that other people seem to receive effortlessly. Think about that younger version of you. Think about what they endured, the confusion, the loneliness, the feeling of crying out and hearing nothing back, the slow, silent erosion of believing that maybe you were just not enough. Maybe you were not meant for the beautiful things. Maybe the abundant life that others talked about was simply not in the cards for you. You carried that. For years, you carried that, and you never told anyone how heavy it really was. I see it. Every prayer you whispered in a parked car because you had nowhere else to go. Every night, you stared at the ceiling asking whether any of this had meaning. Every time you smiled in public while something inside you was completely unraveling. You hid so much. You protected everyone around you from your pain while you absorbed their pain like a sponge. You gave when you were running on empty. You showed up when you were falling apart. You loved people who did not love you back with the same ferocity you gave. And nobody said thank you. Not the way you deserved. That is the wound that most people never talk about in these kinds of messages. The wound of being the strong one. The wound of being the giver, the fixer, the rock, the one people lean on, the one nobody thinks to check on because you always seem fine. You are not always fine. You have not been fine for a long time. And that is okay. Because the season of carrying it alone is ending. I said something was coming tonight and I meant it. But what is coming is not just a feeling. It is not just an emotional high that fades by tomorrow. What is coming is a rearrangement. A divine rearrangement of the pieces of your life that have felt scattered and senseless for so long. Right now, behind the veil of what you can see with your eyes, things are being moved. People are being positioned. Circumstances are being aligned. Doors are being unlocked that no human hand closed and no human hand can open. You cannot see it yet, but you can feel it. That is why your spirit has been restless. That is why you keep sensing that something is near. That feeling is not paranoia. That feeling is prophecy. But here is what I have to warn you about. Because there is always a warning before a breakthrough. In the days, hours, and moments leading up to a major shift in a chosen one's life, the opposition intensifies. The doubt gets louder. The fear tries to talk you out of your position. You might feel a sudden wave of hopelessness. You might feel like giving up just when you are closest to the breakthrough. You might hear voices in your own mind telling you that you were foolish to believe, foolish to hope, foolish to think that something beautiful was being prepared for someone like you. Do not listen. Those voices are not wisdom. They are interference. And interference only increases when you are close to something powerful. The enemy does not attack what is not a threat. You are a threat. That is why the resistance has been so fierce. Let me tell you something about the way you were made. You were not made for mediocrity. You were not made for a small, safe, comfortable life at the edges of your own existence. You were made for depth. For purpose, for something that echoes beyond the days you are given on this earth. And deep down you have always known it. That is why ordinary has never satisfied you. That is why you can be surrounded by everything the world says should make you happy and still feel an ache, a longing, a reaching towards something you cannot fully articulate. That ache is not emptiness. That ache is destiny calling. And here is the part that might shake you. Everything you have been through, the pain, the betrayal, the confusion, the waiting, the loss, the silence, the unanswered prayers, all of it was shaping something in you that cannot be manufactured. Compassion that was born in pain cannot be faked. Wisdom that was refined in fire cannot be mimicked. Strength that was forged in the seasons when you had nothing left cannot be given to someone who never suffered. You were being built, not broken, built. And now here you stand, on the other side of everything that tried to destroy you. Still standing, still breathing, still holding a flicker of faith that refuses to go out no matter how many storms have tried to extinguish it. That is not luck, that is anointing. Now I want to say something that is going to feel uncomfortably specific, because this message was not written for the masses. It was written for you. You, who have prayed the same prayer so many times you wondered if you were speaking into a void. You, who watched others receive the things you asked for and had to fight not to feel forgotten. You, who have forgiven people who never apologized, who showed up for people who never showed up for you, who believed in others while struggling to believe in yourself. You, the one who keeps going even when the ground beneath you is not solid. The one who keeps loving even when love has cost you everything. The one who keeps believing, even now, even here, even in the middle of all of it. This is for you. And the message is this: it is your time. Not someday. Not eventually. Not when you finally feel ready or worthy or healed enough. Now. This season is not a continuation of what you have been through. This is a new chapter. And new chapters do not begin until you are willing to stop rereading the old ones. Stop rehearsing the rejection. Stop replaying the disappointment. Stop letting the worst moments of your past have a permanent seat at the table of your present. They happened. They were real. The pain was valid. And it is time to release it. Not for the people who caused it. For you. For the version of you that is waiting on the other side of that release. Freer, fuller, more powerful than anything the wounded version of you could have imagined. Because here is what freedom feels like for a chosen one. It does not feel like the absence of struggle. It feels like peace in the middle of it. It feels like a deep, unshakable knowing that you are held, even when you cannot see the hands holding you. It feels like joy that does not depend on circumstances, like hope that does not require evidence. That peace is available to you. Right now. In this moment. Not after things improve, not after the prayers are answered, not after the breakthrough arrives. Now, I want you to take a breath, a real one. Let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw, release the tension you have been holding in your body like armor. You are safe here. You do not have to be strong right now. You do not have to have it together. You do not have to pretend. You can just be here, exactly as you are. Exactly where you are, with every question, every wound, every hope, every fear. You are accepted in this moment. Completely, without condition. And from this place of acceptance, I want you to hear this. The beautiful thing that is coming into your life is not a reward for being perfect. It is not a prize for enduring the most pain. It is not something you have to earn or perform for or make yourself worthy of. It is a gift, chosen, prepared, and given freely by a love so vast you cannot contain it with human language. A love that has been watching over you in every dark night. A love that has been whispering your name even when you could not hear it. A love that has been moving mountains on your behalf while you were sleeping, doubting, and wondering if you had been forgotten. You were never forgotten. Not once. Not for a single second. The surprise that is coming tonight is a sign. A sign that faithfulness is real. A sign that love is not abstract. A sign that the one who called you has not abandoned you and will not abandon you. It is coming not to complicate your life, but to confirm your faith. To remind you, in the most personal and undeniable way, that you are seen, you are loved, and you are walking in the middle of a divine plan that is far more beautiful than anything you could architect on your own. So here is what I am asking of you. Not your performance, not your perfection, your trust. Trust enough to stay open. Trust enough to stop pre-deciding what the blessing looks like and how it arrives. Trust enough to release control of the timeline and the method and the outcome. Trust like a child who has complete confidence in the one carrying them. You do not have to see the whole staircase. You only have to take the next step. And the next step is simple. Receive. Receive what has already been prepared for you. Receive the peace that is being offered in this moment. Receive the assurance that your story is not over, that the pages ahead are not repeats of the pages behind. Receive the truth that you are a chosen one. Not because you are flawless, because you were called. And calling does not wait for qualification. It waits for surrender. So right now, in whatever room you are in whatever state your heart is in, I invite you to simply say this: I receive it. Say it quietly if you need to. Say it through tears if they are coming. Say it with a shaky voice and trembling hands. I receive it. The peace, the purpose, the shift, the blessing, the new chapter. I receive it. Because you were made for this moment. You were made for this awakening. And what is about to unfold in your life will become the testimony that you were always destined to carry. The story you will one day tell that begins with, I almost gave up, and ends with, but then everything changed. Your everything changed moment is here. Not on the other side of more suffering, not on the other side of more striving. Here, in the surrender, in the trust, in the quiet, powerful, unshakable decision to believe that you are loved, you are guided, you are chosen, and what is coming for you is not ordinary. It never was. Go forward, not in fear, in faith. The kind of faith that has already survived everything it has been through. The kind of faith that is still breathing, still standing, still watching, still here. That faith is your inheritance. And tonight, it becomes your foundation for everything that comes next. You are not at the end of your story. You are at the most important beginning. And it is beautiful.